Typical sequence of contract activities as per FIDIC. Introduction. Welcome to the session. Today we will be navigating through the FIDIC forms of contract and the sequence of activities related to construction project. The FIDIC forms of contract generally follow a sequence of activities that govern the execution of a construction project. It means that the FIDIC contracts provide a framework and set of procedures to guide the various stages of a construction project. These contracts outline the steps and processes that parties involved in the project should follow, ensuring that the project progresses smoothly and in accordance with the agreed-upon terms and conditions. The sequence of activities outlined in the FIDIC forms of contract typically covers the entire project life cycle. By following this sequence of activities, the FIDIC contracts help establish a structured approach to managing the construction project. They provide a clear framework for the roles, responsibilities, and obligations of the employer and the contractor, ensuring that both parties understand their duties and work together effectively. The sequence of activities outlined in the FIDIC forms of contract helps to establish a transparent and fair process for managing changes, payments, and dispute resolution. It also ensures that key aspects of the project, such as quality, safety, and environmental protection, are given due consideration throughout the project's life cycle. Overall, the sequence of activities in the FIDIC forms of contract serves as a roadmap for the successful execution of a construction project, providing a systematic and structured approach that helps minimize disputes, ensure compliance, and facilitate the timely completion of the project. Here is an overview of the typical sequence of activities. Number 1. Pre-contract phase. Number 2. Contract formation. Number 3. Mobilization and commencement. Number 4. Execution of works. Number 5. Variations and adjustments. Number 6. Payment and progress. Number 7. Completion and handover. Number 8. Final account and settlement. Number 9. Contract closure. Let's have a brief insight of each of these activities.
Let's discuss briefly on the pre-contract phase. In the pre-contract phase of a construction project, several activities take place to initiate the procurement process and select a contractor. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Employer prepares project requirements and specifications. The employer, also known as the client or project owner, defines the project's objectives, scope, and specific requirements. This includes determining the desired outcomes, project constraints, technical specifications, quality standards, and any other specific requirements relevant to the project. The employer may work with consultants or experts to develop comprehensive project requirements and specifications. B. Employer issues tender documents to potential contractors. The employer prepares a tender package, which typically includes the tender invitation, instructions to tenderers, contract conditions, project specifications, drawings, and any other relevant documents. The tender documents provide potential contractors with all the necessary information to understand the project, prepare their bids, and submit their proposals. C. Contractors submit their tenders. Potential contractors who are interested in the project review the tender documents and prepare their bids, known as tenders or proposals. The contractors carefully assess the project requirements, specifications, and other contract conditions to develop their pricing, work methodologies, and project execution plans. They compile all the necessary information, including their technical and commercial proposals, and submit their tenders to the employer within the specified time frame. D. Employer evaluates the tenders and selects a contractor. The employer evaluates the received tenders based on predetermined evaluation criteria, which may include factors such as technical competence, experience, financial stability, proposed methodology, pricing, and compliance with the tender requirements. The evaluation process is typically carried out by a tender evaluation committee or a team appointed by the employer. The committee reviews and scores each tender against the established criteria to determine the most suitable contractor for the project. Once the evaluation is complete, the employer selects the contractor who has submitted the most advantageous tender and enters into contract negotiations. These activities in the pre-contract phase are critical in establishing the foundation for the construction project. They allow the employer to define their requirements, invite competitive bids, evaluate the proposals, and select a contractor who best meets the project's needs. This phase sets the stage for the subsequent contract formation and execution of the project. Now let's have a look into the contract formation phase. In the contract formation phase of a construction project, the employer and the contractor proceed with the formalization of their agreement. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Employer and contractor enter into a formal contract based on the chosen FIDIC form of contract. The employer and the contractor, after evaluating and selecting a contract, negotiate and agree upon the terms and conditions of the contract. The chosen FIDIC form of contract, such as the Red Book or Yellow Book, provides a standardized template that outlines the rights, obligations, and responsibilities of both parties. The parties will customize the contract to suit the specific project requirements, incorporating any necessary amendments or additions. The FIDIC forms of contract offer a comprehensive framework that covers various aspects, including scope of work, contract price, payment terms, variations, extension of time, dispute resolution, and other contractual provisions. The employer and contractor will review and discuss these provisions to ensure they align with the project's needs and expectations. B. Both parties sign the contract, which becomes legally binding. Once the negotiation and customization of the contract are complete, the employer and the contractor sign the contract to indicate their acceptance of the agreed-upon terms. By signing the contract, both parties enter into a legally binding agreement, which establishes their rights and obligations throughout the project's duration. The signed contract serves as the governing document for the construction project and provides a framework for the parties to work within. It sets out the understanding and agreement between the employer and the contractor, ensuring clarity and certainty in their relationship. The signed contract also acts as a reference point for any disputes or issues that may arise during the project's execution. It is crucial for both parties to carefully review and understand the contract's terms before signing. This ensures that they have a clear understanding of their obligations and responsibilities, minimizing the potential for misunderstandings or disagreements later on. The contract formation phase is a critical step in the construction project, as it establishes the legal framework and sets the expectations for both the employer and the contractor. It provides the necessary structure and clarity for the successful execution of the project. Let's now discuss on the mobilization and commencement phase. In the mobilization and commencement phase, the contractor takes the necessary steps to prepare for and initiate the actual construction activities. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Contractor mobilizes resources, including personnel, equipment, and materials, to the project site. Once the contract is signed and the project is ready to commence, the contractor organizes and mobilizes the resources required for the construction works. This includes bringing in the necessary personnel, such as project managers, engineers, supervisors, and skilled laborers, to oversee and carry out the construction activities. Additionally, the contractor arranges for the procurement and transportation of required construction equipment, machinery, and tools to the project site. This may involve renting, purchasing, or leasing equipment as per the project specifications and requirements. Furthermore, the contractor ensures that all necessary materials, such as construction materials, supplies, and components, are sourced and delivered to the project site in a timely manner. This ensures that the construction activities can proceed smoothly without any delays caused by resource shortages. B. The contractor commences the works as per the agreed-upon schedule. Once the necessary resources are mobilized and available at the project site, the contractor begins the construction works as per the agreed-upon schedule. This involves initiating the planned activities outlined in the project's execution plan and following the specifications, drawings, and other project requirements. The contractor coordinates and manages the construction activities, ensuring that they are carried out in a safe and efficient manner. This includes setting up temporary facilities, such as site offices, storage areas, and worker accommodations, as needed. During the commencement of works, the contractor may also conduct site surveys, establish site safety protocols, and implement quality control measures to ensure that the construction activities are in compliance with the project requirements and industry standards. The mobilization and commencement phase marks the beginning of the actual construction activities on site. It is a critical phase where the contractor brings together the necessary resources and initiates the works as per the agreed-upon schedule. Proper mobilization and commencement set the foundation for the successful execution of the construction project. Now let's have a look into the execution of works phase. In the execution phase, the contractor focuses on carrying out the actual construction activities in accordance with the contract requirements. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Contractor carries out the construction activities as per the contract requirements and specifications. The contractor is responsible for executing the construction works as outlined in the contract. This involves following the project scope, specifications, drawings, and any other contractual requirements. The contractor ensures that the construction activities are carried out in a timely manner, adhering to the agreed-upon schedule. The contractor utilizes the resources, equipment, and materials mobilized during the earlier phases to perform the necessary tasks. This may include excavation, foundation construction, structural work, installation of systems and utilities, finishing work, and any other construction-related activities required for the project. B. Contractor manages and supervises the works, ensuring compliance with quality standards, safety regulations, and environmental requirements. The contractor is responsible for managing and supervising the construction works. This includes overseeing the activities performed by the contractor's personnel and any subcontractors involved. The contractor ensures that the works are executed in accordance with established quality standards, meeting the project specifications and requirements. They implement quality control measures, conduct regular inspections, and perform necessary tests to ensure compliance. Additionally, the contractor prioritizes the safety of the workers and site visitors. They enforce safety regulations, implement safety protocols, and provide necessary safety equipment and training to prevent accidents and ensure a safe working environment. The contractor also ensures compliance with environmental regulations and requirements. They implement measures to minimize environmental impact, such as proper waste management, pollution control, and protection of natural resources. C. Contractor may engage subcontractors for specific portions of the works, as permitted by the contract. Depending on the project's complexity and requirements, the contractor may engage subcontractors to carry out specific portions of the works. This is done in accordance with the contract terms and conditions. The contractor is responsible for selecting and managing subcontractors, ensuring their competence and adherence to project requirements. The subcontractors work under the supervision and coordination of the main contractor, contributing their specialized skills and expertise to complete the project successfully. By engaging subcontractors, the contractor can efficiently manage the various aspects of the construction works and ensure that specialized tasks are performed by qualified professionals. Overall, the execution phase involves the contractor carrying out the construction activities, managing and supervising the works, and potentially engaging subcontractors when necessary. The contractor's focus is on meeting the contract requirements, adhering to quality standards, ensuring safety, and fulfilling environmental obligations to successfully complete the construction project. Let's now discuss on variations and adjustments phase. In the variations and adjustments phase of a construction project, changes to the scope of work or specifications may arise, requiring adjustments to the contract. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Employer may request changes to the scope of work or specifications through variation orders. During the course of the project, the employer may identify the need for changes to the original scope of work or specifications. These changes can be requested through variation orders, which detail the proposed modifications. Variation orders may arise due to design changes, unforeseen site conditions, changes in project requirements, or other factors. The employer communicates these changes to the contractor, specifying the desired alterations to the original contract. B. Contractor assesses the impact of the variations on time, cost, and other contract provisions. Upon receiving the variation orders, the contractor evaluates the impact of the proposed changes on various aspects of the project. This assessment involves analyzing the effects on time, cost, resources, and any other relevant contract provisions. The contractor examines how the variations will affect the project schedule, including any potential delays or adjustments required. They also consider the cost implications, such as additional materials, labor, or equipment needed to accommodate the changes. It is crucial for the contractor to thoroughly analyze the impact of the variations to ensure accurate adjustments to the project plan and contract. C. Parties negotiate and agree on the adjustments to the contract, including time extensions and additional payments, if applicable. Once the contractor has assessed the impact of the variations, negotiations between the employer and the contractor take place to agree on the necessary adjustments to the contract. The parties discuss and negotiate the potential changes in terms of time, cost, and other contract provisions. This may involve determining the need for a time extension to accommodate the variations and revising the project schedule accordingly. Additionally, if the variations result in increased costs for the contractor, negotiations may involve determining the amount and method of additional payments. The goal of the negotiation process is to reach a mutual agreement on the adjustments to the contract that properly address the variations while ensuring fairness to both parties. Once an agreement is reached, the adjustments are documented and incorporated into the contract through formal change orders or variation agreements. The variations and adjustments phase is essential for managing changes to the project scope or specifications throughout the construction process. It allows for flexibility and adaptability to evolving project requirements, ensuring that the contract remains aligned with the changing needs of the employer and the contractor. We will now discuss on the payment and progress phase. In the payment and progress phase of a construction project, the financial aspects of the contract are managed, and payments are made based on the progress of the works. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Employer makes interim payments to the contractor based on the progress of the works. As the construction project progresses, the employer is responsible for making interim payments to the contractor. These payments are typically made at regular intervals, such as monthly or quarterly, and are based on the percentage of completion of the works. The employer assesses the progress of the construction activities, typically through site visits and inspections, and determines the amount of work completed during the payment period. The interim payments are calculated based on the agreed-upon payment terms in the contract, which may include a schedule of values or a payment schedule. Interim payments provide the contractor with a regular cash flow to cover project expenses, including labor, materials, equipment, and subcontractor payments. These payments are intended to support the contractor's ongoing work and ensure the smooth progression of the project. B. Contractor submits payment applications, supported by relevant documentation. To request payment, the contractor submits payment applications or invoices to the employer. These payment applications detail the work completed during the payment period and the corresponding amount due. The payment applications are typically supported by relevant documentation, such as progress reports, site records, invoices from subcontractors or suppliers, and any other necessary documentation to substantiate the work completed and the associated costs. The contractor is responsible for accurately preparing and submitting the payment applications in accordance with the contract requirements and the agreed-upon payment procedures. C. Employer verifies the payment applications and releases payments according to the contract terms. Upon receiving the payment applications from the contractor, the employer reviews and verifies the submitted documentation. This verification process ensures that the work claimed in the payment applications aligns with the actual progress and complies with the contract requirements. The employer examines the payment applications to ensure that the work completed and the costs claimed are reasonable and in accordance with the contract. They may also conduct site visits or inspections to verify the progress and quality of the completed work. Once the payment applications are verified, the employer releases the payments to the contractor as per the agreed-upon payment terms in the contract. This may involve issuing payment certificates or authorizing direct payments to the contractor's designated bank account. The payment and progress phase is crucial for maintaining a healthy financial flow in the construction project. It ensures that the contractor receives timely payments based on the progress of the works, while the employer verifies and confirms the completed work before releasing the payments. Effective management of payments and progress helps maintain a positive working relationship between the employer and the contractor. Now let's have a look into the completion and handover phase. In the completion and handover phase of a construction project, the finalization of the works and the transfer of the project from the contractor to the employer take place. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Contractor completes the works, ensuring compliance with all contract requirements. The contractor focuses on completing all remaining construction activities as per the contract requirements and specifications. This includes finishing any outstanding work, addressing any remaining punch list items, and ensuring that all aspects of the project are in compliance with the agreed-upon standards. The contractor ensures that all construction work, installations, systems, and finishes are completed to the satisfaction of the employer and in accordance with the contract. Any necessary tests, inspections, or certifications are conducted to verify the completion and compliance of the works. B. Contractor rectifies any defects or deficiencies during the defects liability period. After the completion of the works, the contractor enters the defects liability period. During this period, typically specified in the contract, the contractor is responsible for rectifying any defects or deficiencies identified by the employer. The contractor addresses any issues or defects that arise during the defects liability period, ensuring that the project meets the required quality standards and specifications. This may involve repairing or replacing faulty or damaged components, systems, or finishes. C. Employer inspects and accepts the completed works. The employer conducts a thorough inspection of the completed works to assess their compliance with the contract requirements. This inspection may involve site visits, reviewing documentation, and conducting tests or inspections to verify the quality and functionality of the completed project. The employer evaluates the completed works against the agreed-upon standards, specifications, and performance criteria. If the works meet the required standards and the employer is satisfied with the project's completion, they provide formal acceptance of the works. D. Contractor hands over the project to the employer. Once the completed works are accepted by the employer, the contractor formally hands over the project to the employer. This involves transferring the responsibility, control, and ownership of the project to the employer. The contractor provides all necessary documentation, including as-built drawings, operation and maintenance manuals, warranties, and any other relevant project documentation. They also provide training and support to the employer's personnel, if required, to ensure a smooth transition and proper operation of the project. The completion and handover phase mark the culmination of the construction project, where the contractor ensures the finalization of the works and the employer accepts and takes possession of the completed project. It is a critical phase that signifies the successful completion of the construction process and the transition to the operational and maintenance phase of the project. Let's now discuss on the final account and settlement phase.
In the final account and settlement phase of a construction project, the final financial aspects of the project are addressed, and any outstanding amounts are settled. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Contractor submits the final account, detailing all costs and payments related to the project. The contractor prepares and submits the final account to the employer. This account provides a comprehensive breakdown of all costs and payments associated with the construction project. The final account includes details of all incurred costs, such as labor, materials, equipment, subcontractor payments, and other project-related expenses. It also takes into account any variations, adjustments, or change orders that have been agreed upon during the course of the project. The contractor ensures that the final account is accurate, transparent, and supported by relevant documentation, such as invoices, receipts, and payment records. B. Employer reviews and verifies the final account. Upon receiving the final account from the contractor, the employer reviews and verifies the submitted documentation. This review process involves examining the final account to ensure that it accurately reflects the costs and payments related to the project. The employer verifies that all costs claimed in the final account are legitimate and supported by appropriate documentation. They may conduct a thorough audit or review process to ensure the accuracy and completeness of the final account. C. Parties negotiate and agree on the final settlement of any outstanding amounts. Once the employer has reviewed and verified the final account, negotiations between the employer and the contractor take place to determine the final settlement of any outstanding amounts. During these negotiations, both parties discuss and resolve any discrepancies or disagreements regarding the final account. This may involve addressing any disputed costs, resolving outstanding issues, or clarifying any outstanding payment obligations. The goal of the negotiation process is to reach a mutual agreement on the final settlement of any outstanding amounts, ensuring fairness to both parties and settling any financial obligations related to the project. Once an agreement is reached, the final settlement is documented and incorporated into the project's financial records. The final account and settlement phase is essential for bringing the financial aspect of the construction project to a close. It ensures that all costs and payments related to the project are accurately accounted for and settled, allowing both the contractor and the employer to conclude their financial obligations and bring the project to a final resolution.
Now let's have a look into the contract closure phase.
In the contract closure phase of a construction project, the formal closure of the contract takes place, and any outstanding issues or disputes are resolved. Here is an explanation of each activity. A. Parties close the contract officially, acknowledging the completion of all contractual obligations. In the contract closure phase, the parties involved in the construction project formally close the contract. This involves acknowledging that all contractual obligations have been fulfilled and that the project has reached its conclusion. The parties, usually the employer and the contractor, may sign a contract closure agreement or a formal document that signifies the official closure of the contract. This agreement acknowledges that all work has been completed, all payments have been made, and all obligations outlined in the contract have been fulfilled. By officially closing the contract, the parties confirm that they have no further obligations or responsibilities towards each other under the terms of the contract. B. Any outstanding issues or disputes are resolved through the contract's dispute resolution mechanisms, such as negotiation, mediation, or arbitration. In some cases, there may be outstanding issues or disputes that need to be resolved before the contract can be officially closed. These issues could involve disagreements over payments, quality of work, delays, or other matters. To address these outstanding issues, the parties may utilize the dispute resolution mechanisms outlined in the contract. These mechanisms could include negotiation, where the parties discuss and try to reach a mutual agreement on the outstanding issues. If negotiation fails, they may opt for mediation, where a neutral third party helps facilitate a resolution. If mediation is unsuccessful, the parties may resort to arbitration, where an arbitrator or a panel of arbitrators make a binding decision on the matter. The goal of resolving outstanding issues or disputes is to reach a final agreement or settlement that allows for the closure of the contract. Once the issues are resolved, the parties can proceed with the official closure and bring the construction project to a final conclusion. The contract closure phase is crucial for formally ending the contractual relationship between the parties involved in the construction project. It ensures that all obligations have been fulfilled, any Outstanding issues have been resolved, and both parties can move on from the project with a clear understanding of their rights and responsibilities. Conclusion. It's important to note that the specific sequence of activities may vary depending on the specific FIDIC form of contract used, the project's complexity, and any specific contractual provisions agreed upon by the parties. It means that the sequence of activities in a construction project, particularly in relation to contract-related processes, can vary based on several factors. 1. Specific FIDIC form of contract used. FIDIC provides various standard forms of contracts that are commonly used in the construction industry. Different FIDIC contract forms may have specific provisions and procedures that dictate the sequence of activities. These forms include the Red Book, Yellow Book, and Silver Book, among others. Each contract form may have its own unique requirements and processes, which can influence the sequence of activities. 2. Project complexity. The complexity of a construction project can also impact the sequence of activities. Large, complex projects may require more detailed and extensive processes, such as additional inspections, testing, or approvals. The project size, scope, and technical requirements can influence the order in which activities are carried out and completed. 3. Specific contractual provisions. The parties involved in a construction project have the ability to negotiate and include specific provisions in the contract that may modify or supplement the standard procedures. These provisions can be tailored to the specific needs and requirements of the project. For example, the parties may agree on specific milestones, additional inspections, or alternative dispute resolution methods. These contractual provisions can impact the sequence of activities and add specific requirements that must be followed. Considering these factors, it is important for the parties involved in a construction project to carefully review and understand the specific FIDIC contract form being used, assess the complexity of the project, and ensure that any specific provisions agreed upon are taken into account. This will help them determine the appropriate sequence of activities and follow the required processes to effectively manage and complete the project in accordance with the contract. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more contents. Sharing this video with your friends will help us grow and reach more people. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in your projects. Thank you.